SmackDown took place tonight from Boston, Massachusetts in the TD Garden. And of course, this marked the return of John Cena. And this was a very noteworthy show. So it started off with the new Universal Champion, Bill Goldberg, coming out, and he gets a lot of boos here. They did not like him. They erupted in boos once he really, the music ended. You can really hear the fans mad at him. At first, there were some Goldberg chants, but he's basically saying, it's not about who's last, but who's next. And of course, Roman Reigns comes out. Reigns gets mostly cheers, and the fans, however, began booing again once his music ended. I think there's clearly smart fans in the audience, and the hardcore, more male audience is clearly mad that Goldberg squashed the Fiend at the Saudi Arabia show, and they're angry that Roman Reigns is going to get the title shot. So they were booing both of them pretty bad. But Reigns says what Reigns does is he basically accepts the challenge, and he says he's next, and the fans cheered, but there were still a lot of boos, and it's official. It's Goldberg and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, at WrestleMania for the Universal title. I hope this changes. I hope they do something with The Fiend, and Bray Wyatt gets the belt back. It's The Fiend and John Cena instead for the title, but it looks like you have Roman and Goldberg, and just they ruined The Fiend. It's so disappointing. John Cena video package on his career aired. It was pretty good. They're going through it. They start when he the match with Kurt Angle. And, of course, when The Undertaker shook his hand backstage. I was so annoyed what happened last year. They didn't fucking do John Cena and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania last year in Kurt Angle's last match. Instead, he loses to Baron Corbin. I'm still mad about that. When I ran about it again, I'm still pissed off. It was such bullshit. Angle was mad. His wife was mad. Everyone was mad about it. That would have been a perfect ending for Kurt Angle's career. His last match was against John Cena, who was the same guy who had his first match. So Cena has his first match with Angle, and Angle has his last match with Cena. It would have been the perfect ending, but I'm still mad about that. Whatever. So next is Bayley. She comes on. She's facing Naomi. And it's like, are you kidding me? They just had a match. Why are you having a non-title match the night after you had a title match in which Bayley won? I mean, that never happens when a challenger gets in their shot. However, they're not really going to... It's a bit different how this was done. They're about to have a match that Bayley refuses to engage with Naomi, and she says she's not competing tonight, and she gets on the mic and she introduces the future Grammy Award-winning superstar, Sasha Banks. She says she's better than Beyonce, better than Cardi B, and when she announces her best friend, Sasha, she gets a big reaction from the hometown fans. They like Sasha Banks. I thought she'd get new music. I'm not a fan of it. I think, not a fan of that. I hate how it's done. I like that. The Sasha Banks theme is one of the better songs they had in a while. I know it's a babyface song, so that's the problem, but it's one of the better ones. Anyway, Sasha comes out. Blue hair. I miss when she has black hair. She looks insane. If you saw her on Instagram with black hair, she looks great. But I guess she still sticks with the blue hair. She does look. I mean, she's Sasha Banks. She always looks good no matter what. But what happens is she's going to be in Bayley's corner for her match with Naomi. It's a quick match. Sasha gets involved, and they beat down Naomi for a while. And then Lacey Evans makes a save, and it sets up a tag team match. There's chaos that sets up a tag match, and I did not understand how they did this. So you have Bayley and Sasha against Lacey Evans and Naomi. This was just weird. I don't know why they did this, but this was such strange how they booked it. What happens, it goes on for a while. The way they did it, I'm thinking, are they going to do a Fatal 4-Way? That's what we're going to go wrestling. I don't think they're going to get Bayley and Sasha. That's what I thought. Anyway, it goes on for too long. Banks looks like she's going to get the win. She hit a backstabber on Naomi. It looks like she's going to put her away, but Lacey Evans pulls Sasha to the floor, and Sasha and Lacey brawl outside. So it looks like they're going to have a match, and I guess they'll blow that feud off. Because I guess Lacey and Starline hurt Sasha, but they're on the outside. And then you have Bayley and Naomi in the ring, and Naomi's able to hit a sunset flip, and she gets the 3 count with the sunset flip on Bayley. Naomi pins her after Bayley beat her for to retain her title last night. So Naomi pins the champ. Doesn't make much sense. Booking in reverse. Sasha and Bayley are surprised by the win. Sasha loses on her night back in her hometown, so it makes sense. She also is in her hometown. The booking's just been awful. I swear to God, it's fucking strange. Anyway, Naomi and Lacey with the win. I'm not looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm just really mad what happened last night with Saudi Arabia still. But anyway, they go backstage, and New Day runs into Dolph Ziggler by Rude, and I guess Rude and Kingston having a match. They do another John Cena video package. This time was the match with JBL at WrestleMania 21 when he won his first WWE title. I remember that. I remember watching that. Robert Roode against Kofi Kingston. Roode gets the win. Didn't really care much for the match. Just whatever. They show Mandy Rose watching in the back. And what happens is Roode is able to get the win after Ziggler is able to interfere in the match. And Roode gets the roll up on Kingston after the match. They show backstage Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are watching. Sonya is basically encouraging Mandy to be with Dolph. That's how I almost got it. And I think myself, I guess they're not going to do that storyline, with Sonya's into Mandy, because if Sonya wants Mandy to be with Dolph, what's the point? But they go backstage later to Tucker and Otis are backstage. Tucker approaches Otis, and then Otis doesn't understand how Rose can date Ziggler. Tucker tells Otis he needs to get over Rose and move on next week, and he's going to feel the love from the universe next week. So that obviously this feud's going to continue. I think Tucker has more of an impact in what's going on in the storyline. They go to another video package and they aired John Cena against The Rock at WrestleMania 29, in which John Cena won the belt. This was a good, that match, no, I didn't like it. I remember liking the first match at 28. I liked it, I enjoyed it. I've reviewed them both. You can go watch my WrestleMania reviews. I've reviewed every WrestleMania, but the 28 match I remember enjoying a lot. The 29 match was just, all they did was kick out of each other's finishers. I hated that match. All they did was kick out of each other's finishers. It sucked. So they do a contract signing. Braun Strowman and Shinsuke Nakamura set it up. You have Renee Young hosting the contract signing. They recapped the Symphony of Destruction match last week. Nakamura comes out with Sami Zayn and Cesaro. Then, of course, Strowman comes out. Strowman throws a chair out of the ring, which was pretty funny. Zayn points out that Strowman said he'd take all three of them. They changed the match to all three of them taking on Strowman, and all three heels sign it. So it's basically going to be Strowman against all three of them. Strowman against Zayn, Cesaro, and Nakamura. And, of course, Strowman's going to win, obviously. But Strowman moves the table and knocks down Nakamura, and the heels all beat down Strowman. And then they give him a double suplex. Cesaro and Nakamura from a double suplex with the Sister Zayn through the table. So they get the better of Strowman. It sets up the Elimination Chamber in the week. They recap Goldberg and Roman Reigns, and they officially announce that's the match at WrestleMania. I guess they don't want to get Roman Reigns booed against The Fiend. If you have Roman Reigns and The Fiend, Roman's 100% getting booed in that match. The Fiend's a very popular heel, so I think Roman would get booed if that's what they want. But it is, I can't believe we're going to have to fucking watch Bill Goldberg in another fucking WrestleMania match. What he did 3 years ago should have been his last match. And the stuff with Brock was It was a good feud. He came back, he beat Brock, the squash match at Survivor Series a few years ago. Then he beat Kevin Owens in a squash match that pissed everyone off. However, Brock, they had the match with Brock at WrestleMania. It was a very fun match. Brock won. That should have been the end of the feud. Here, it's just, why? You're having him squash The Fiend. It's just such bullshit. Anyway, Daniel Bryan against Curtis Axel. They had Drew Gulak on commentary. He talks about the stupid PowerPoint presentation. I don't know what's going on with Daniel Bryan. It felt like nothing. And Daniel Bryan, without his beard, doesn't feel like a star. It's like, man, is that Daniel Bryan in the ring? I wasn't even noticing. He needs to find something, because I feel bad for him because that Goldberg stuff, because he's someone who really went out of his way to put The Fiend over, and for it to end like that, just to get squashed, it feels like it's all for nothing. Finn Balor put him over. Seth Rollins put him over big. Seth looked like a bitch when he faced The Fiend. But, all of it. Anyway, Bryan wins. John Cena video packages show him winning the 16th title from AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble in 2017 in San Antonio. That was a very good match. I enjoyed that. They announced Jeff Hardy's going to be on WWE Backstage this Tuesday night, so I guess Jeff's with the company. Matt's gone. Miz and Morrison make their way to the ring to brag about winning the tag team titles. A referee comes out. Who was it? Someone announces that they're at their first title defense is going to be Elimination Chamber. It's going to be an Elimination Chamber tag team match, In a chamber, it's going to be the New Day. They're going to defend their titles against the New Day, Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler and the Usos. Next, you have Usos against Miz and Morrison. Good matchup here. This was a crazy ending. So it's basically we see a flying Canadian Destroyer from the top rope. What happens is Jimmy hit a version of the Canadian Destroyer onto John Morrison, which was crazy. And of course, Jay hit the splash, gets the win. And I guess Corey Grace calls it the Samoan Destroyer. You can call it that, but they're basically doing stuff. They're doing that move now. Just they do it too much. Adam Cole does it way too much. The Panama Sunrise, they do it too much. AEW does fucking things where they have guys take a Canadian Destroyer on the fucking apron, and like the guy recovers 2 minutes later. I hate that, but I like how at least if they're gonna do it, at least make it a finisher. The Canadian Destroyer is such a dangerous move, though, but they used it here. John Cena promo at the end. He gets a big pop when he comes up. We hear his music. It was fun seeing him back out. I liked hearing his music again. I just thought that was really cool. It almost felt like nostalgia. And he gets a huge ovation from the crowd. It's his hometown, so he's going to be loved here. But they really, really like Cena. Cena is emotional. Fans are chanting for him, and he's talking about WrestleMania. He talks about how he wants it to be for the guys who are on the company. In the company right now. It's almost felt like a shot at Goldberg. I mean, not inadvertently, but that's what I thought. Like, that's what Goldberg should be doing. Anyway, Cena continues to go on. He talks about how WrestleMania is for the guys wrestling, and he feels as though it's best for him to not wrestle at WrestleMania, and he officially announces he will not have a match this year at Mania, and he's not going to wrestle, and Cena's not wrestling, and then of course, The Fiend, when Cena's walking up the ramp, the lights go out, and you hear The Fiend's, when something like electricity goes out, the lights flicker and The Fiend comes out after it goes dark, and he points to the WrestleMania sign, and Cena nods his head, and he gets to have John Cena against The Fiend at WrestleMania. I wish The Fiend would win, Bray Wyatt would win. He get revenge from the match. He should have won 6 years ago against John Cena at WrestleMania 30, but if they're not going to have it, just sucks what they did with The Fiend. It's hard to. He's damaged goods at this point. That Goldberg stuff was just inexcusable. But SmackDown was an eventful show. You had John Cena's return. You had them announce Goldberg and Roman Reigns. You had Sasha Banks making her return. So they did a lot of notable stuff on this show. And they continue to build for WrestleMania.